Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm T with Teresa H Creates and it's SheetLoad of cards time. So every month Alicia over at Call Me Crafty Owl puts out a card sketch and cutting guide for a set of cards. And this month the yield is 8 cards. I can't wait to get started on this sketch. Look at how cute this is. And I already have an idea for it. I wanted to do something coffee themed but also kind of autumn. So thinking more like pumpkin spice latte. So I found this piece of paper in my collection. I love hearts, so this immediately called to me, but it looks like a knit sweater. Let me pull it up close so you can see that. Isn't that adorable? This is by Authentique, so it's going to be impossible or hard to find, but I'm trying to use up stuff from my stash. And then I also found this wood grain and then this floral. These are all by Authentique from 2015. So my thought is I'm going to deviate from the sketch just a little bit. So I'm going to use these two pieces as the background and I'm going to use just the hearts on these panels. I haven't looked over the instructions yet, so that might actually be the case, but I don't know. So I do want to use a really dark brown, so I picked out this sheet of paper. It's going to go behind these triangles here. And then for my focal point, I decided to do coffee cups. So I did pull out some dies. I have this mug right here, and I have like the whipped cream, but also just have the regular coffee image. But I thought I would go ahead and cut those out. I do have a pumpkin that I could put on the center, but I also have a heart that I could put on the center of that to make it pop. I did select Catherine Puller's coffee stamp collection, and I'm trying to think, what is this called? It says coffee shop stamp set. So I did pull this because I want to use these two sentiments, and I'm going to put them on the inside of the card instead of having them on the outside. They're a little bit bigger, and I really just want the coffee mug to kind of shine there. And for the coffee mug itself, I selected these colors. These are Park Lane Shimmers. Let me go ahead and get some stuff cut. I'll put together my cards and then I'll come back to assemble the last one with you. All right, I've made all my cuts and I have all of my elements together to finish off this card. This is the 8th card. I'm going to use some walnut stain distress ink to go ahead and ink up these edges. It has a white core and I just kind of want to darken this up, especially since we're using this really dark, rich brown mat. So I do kind of want to darken up those edges. All right. I'm going to use my tape runner for this. Just get it glued down on this matte piece, and then I'm going to cut it at an angle. Now I want to give this cut right here on the angle, so I'm going to line it up so that these corners are right on that cut line. Every time I move one end, you know, I shift the other, but that should do it. Hold it down, and then there we go. We've got 2 pieces. All right, let me put a little bit of ink on this inside piece. It is time to change this little foam. All right, let me add my tape to the back of this. This is such a cute little sketch, and everything came together so quickly, very quickly. Okay, it's going to go this way. So I'm going to line it up at the bottom, right on the edge, and this one up here. We're going to line this one up at the top. I just have so many ideas for this already. I think I'll be using this again. This would make some really cute Halloween cards, really, really cute Christmas cards. So I may do that. Just a really cute sketch. And then instead of a sentiment and image, I'm just doing the little image. So I die cut these little coffee mugs, and it does have the whipped cream on it, because that is the way I drink my coffee. So I guess it could be hot chocolate if you wanted it to, but I'm a little bit bougie, and when I have my coffee, I put a little whipped cream on top. Makes me feel like it's fancy. I used to be a Starbucks drinker, and I spent so much money on Starbucks, and I really just couldn't justify the cost anymore. So I start making my coffee at home. I don't buy Starbucks, hardly ever. It's a rare treat. So I figured I can still put, you know, a little bit of whipped cream on it. All right, and then I used the little scalloped heart die to put right on the center of these cards. So cute. And then I have these microscopic little sprinkles, and they're the shapes of hearts. They are teeny tiny. So let's go ahead and add these. I'm just going to put a little dot everywhere. I'm going to place one of these hearts. I'm going to get my jewel picker. I love this tool. It makes placing these little embellishment items so much easier. Give that a little twist. And I just got this. It's actually, I believe, for nail art. I just bought it off of Amazon. It's got the little wax tip, and it wasn't expensive. I know a lot of people make their own, but it really wasn't expensive. And it had 2 little refills, so anyway. And I did put that up on foam dots. I just wanted to give it some dimension. And then I'm using those Catherine Pooler stamps to go ahead and stamp a sentiment on the inside. I'm being brave, and I am just stamping this as sentiment. I figure if it doesn't turn out right, I can always just stamp it on a piece of paper, you know, a different piece of paper, and put it down over it, so I'm not really worried about it. Let me do a practice stamp. Perfect. This is the first time I've used this. Well, making these cards is the first time I've used this particular stamp, so just want to make sure it's nice and primed. All right, I'm going to line it up somewhat straight. And then pop it right down where I think it's kind of center-ish. Perfect. That is what I love about these VersaFine inks. I really just cannot say enough about them. This is pigment ink, but it's VersaFine Clair and Pinecone, and then I use the VersaFine pigment in Onyx Black for my black ink, and they're so juicy, and they just really give a great impression every time. And that is our card. How cute is that? All right, let me show you the others that I've made. Aren't they adorable? Those are so cute. Perfect. All right, that's my 8 cards for September 2025's sheet load of cards. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to reply. Thanks for spending some time with me, and until next time, bye.